nothing ever really goes according to plan, and I don't know why I'd expect anything different. Hi everyone, long time no see. I know it's been gone for a long time, and that's because my November budget went completely out the window. So this video is to explain what happened, as well as why it's actually okay that it happened. So I'm just gonna get straight into it. Story time for everyone interested. This started on October 29th when I got my transmission fluid replaced, or so I thought. I'll give you the short, sweet, and simple version. Kind of ended up getting screwed over with that, kind of scammed, going to a well-known chain to get my transmission fluid replaced. You'd think it'd be foolproof, but it's not. So I had to find a new mechanic, and that mechanic not only fixed my problems, but found other problems to diagnose with my car that I verified by looking at everything. So what's my grand total? $828 later. My car is safe to drive, no worries about anything happening. Exactly what I had done to my car was I had to get the bearings inside of my alternator replaced. I also had to have my serpentine belts, the pulley around that, 2 sway bar links, as well as the labor costs involved and troubleshooting a few other things that I thought could potentially be causing my problems with my car. $828 is pretty much all my extra money, minus some that I had left over from October that I hadn't yet put towards any of my loans, which thank God. And here's where my first criticism going into starting the Dave Ramsey system of getting out of debt comes in. If I had said, okay, it's October 31st, here's how much money I have left over, like 400-ish or something left over, let's just put it towards my loans, I would be pretty screwed right now. I'm not gonna lie, pretty screwed. So, thank goodness I actually didn't do that and didn't follow what he recommends, as much as I do have an emergency fund, because then I just have to spend all my extra money building that emergency fund back up later. Luckily, I did have money left over to cover half of that amount of what my car costs were, and so I only ended up having to pay $400 or $500 of my money in my checking account to cover these expenses, and didn't have to dip into my emergency fund, and also didn't have to put any of this on a credit card, which is super awesome. Ultimately, I'm not going to be able to make my goals for November of paying on my student loans, which sucks, but this always happen. You commit yourself to getting on a budget and to getting out of debt or like whatever financially, and then all of a sudden you can't, and of course something's gonna happen. Typical. There's also some other stuff that happened this month, which I'm about to get into, but really quick, I'm gonna go ahead and give the update on how I am on student loan repayment as of mid-November. So in total, I have paid off $4,553.58, and that is counting my 2 months of my employer's contributions to my student loans. So could be worse, right? Oh, sorry, I'm waving a pen around. Could be worse. I could, that number could be much lower. So I am very fortunate that I don't have to worry, and that I had the foresight when I was told that there were other things that could be wrong with my car, that I didn't go ahead and still pay off my student loans, that I did have the money in the bank to spend on it. I'd just rather not dip into an emergency fund considering my income is so low. It would be different if I was making $40,000 a year, but I'm not. So I gotta troubleshoot where I can when it comes to this system. But that's definitely something that I feel maybe the Dave Ramsey system doesn't take into consideration, is lower incomes like mine, making, you know, roughly $24,000 a year, is that you don't have the luxury of literally putting every extra dime towards paying off your debt at the end of the month in case something were to happen, because you don't have the income coming in to pay to rebuild your emergency fund or just rebuild your finances in general. Besides my car troubles, we also had not an unexpected event, but we were planning on having an extra expense of needing to rent a car to drive down to Southern California to pick up the rest of my things from my parents' house for our apartment. That included a desk, a bookcase, my little buddy over here in the tank, my pet snake Beetlejuice. He's sleeping right now. He's not liking the cold so much, so that lamp is on all the time until I can go get him some new bulbs and heating pads to keep him warmer. But I'm so happy to have him here. Yeah, so bookcase, Beetle, a desk, some clothes and kitchen and tools and just odds and ends that I didn't pick up before from my parents' house during the move and didn't come out of my dorm, just like non-necessities, non-essentials. So now everything is here and it feels really good to have that done, but it was a trip, man. 5.5 hours there and back in one day. We left here between 8 and 8:30 in the morning and got back, or we dropped off the car around 10 p.m. So super fast turnaround. We packed everything up and left straight away. We took minimal breaks. Luckily, we ordered it was a 2019 Chrysler minivan, I believe, Chrysler Pacifica. So pretty good on gas, actually phenomenal on gas, super efficient, super comfortable. And after my AAA discount, plus getting insurance on the car, and not having to pay for Aaron as a second driver because of my AAA discount, we only spent $90 on everything for the whole day. So it wasn't too expensive. I expected it anyway. And the good news is I am getting my reimbursement back from my RBT certification, which is $95. So that pays for the car rental. So everything there evens out pretty well. In addition, this month has been crazy when it comes to work. It's, you know, the holidays are coming up and kids' schedules out here when they're on like a track system. My work hours have been moved around a lot, and in addition to my car stuff and having to take off work for that, money's been not bad but tight, you know. Not knowing exactly how much is going to be on my paycheck is stressful, and I love this line of work, I really do, but the inconsistency is a little rough. And to be quite honest, when it comes to getting a second part-time job, it's been rough. And I'm not like looking, but even just like, even though it's the holidays, even getting like part-time positions at retail has been really hard due to my availability. Because I'm not gonna work a 16-hour day. Like I can't do that and then still perform well at my regular job. I work with kids. I can't be tired. I can't be in a bad mood. I can't not eat. Like my work will suffer. if I do that. So finding jobs to do just on my days off or just in like the mornings or the evenings and having limited availability has been pretty rough. Harder than I thought it would be. But then again, I know someone else probably needs it more than I do, so think positive, right? At this point, that's all I can really do, is just try to stay positive and know that everything is working out, and just because there's a setback doesn't mean that things are everything went down the drain. You know, it doesn't mean that things are horrible, and everyone starts their debt-free journey at a different point. You know, I think like, okay, well, I could have had no idea about Dave Ramsey's budgeting system and system of getting out of debt, and I could have waited a year to start this, and my car problems still would have happened. I would have just been in a different mindset, in a different position. So it's okay that this is happening, and it's actually a good thing that this is happening now, because then I know all this stuff was fixed on my car in 2019 and I don't have to worry about it for a very, very long time. And also to know that I had worked out on my car, so there's someone who knows my car now here in Sacramento, and that I know that the major super expensive things are fine. You know, I had my transmission basically taken apart to make sure there was nothing wrong with it, and that the scammer mechanics didn't mess with anything. I know my engine is fine. It's just the little pieces that needed to be repaired. So I am ultimately glad that this is happening right now, and it's going to help catapult me into a better place in the months and the year to come, the new decade to come. Kind of fun to be starting a debt-free journey at the beginning of a decade, and to like I wonder how life is going to be in 2030 for me now, like starting this huge journey at the beginning. So ultimately, I just want to say, don't get discouraged when life throws you curveballs, because there's no way to avoid it. There's no way to control it. But as long as you're prepared for difficult situations, then you will be fine. You will be fine mentally. You will be fine emotionally. You will be fine financially. You just have to make the best decisions for future you. You have to have that foresight. It's great to live in the moment, especially, you know, those of us trying to get out of student loan debt are young adults mainly, but it's important to not compare yourself to everyone else around us at this age, and instead to focus on what's best for you or for you and your partner. And that is ultimately practicing smart self-care. That's making sure your car is safe to drive. That is probably the most self-care thing I can think of, aside from going to the doctor or going to therapy. That is the definition of self-care. It's great to paint your nails. It's great to do a face mask. It's great to take a really luxurious bath, or to make something really tasty for dinner, or to go out to dinner. That's all fine and dandy, but is it really helping future you? Self-care is caring for yourself the way you would if you were taking care of your spouse or a different family member or a friend. Actually caring for yourself is what's most important. In addition, pro tip, don't be afraid to get a second opinion. Mini story time. I was told by first scammer mechanic that I needed my rear shocks and struts replaced because one of them was leaking really bad, and that my car could, like, I could lose control of my car at any moment because it was so bad. That was gonna cost me a little over $500 through them to replace. And I got a second opinion, and my shocks and struts, all four are perfectly fine. And my issues that I did have were transmission alternator issues, and nothing to do with brakes, wheels, anything. Don't be afraid to get a second opinion. It's your money, it's your property, it's your life, potentially, when it comes to car issues. So be smart about it and don't be afraid to question someone. You would, all the time, we question doctors who say, you know, even things need to be get done, and we know how we're feeling, we know what's best for us, we know if a doctor's misdiagnosing something on us. Well, you drive your car every single day. You know something's wrong. You know what liquid looks like. You know what a leak looks like. If there's nothing under your car, you don't smell anything, like, they're probably trying to pull a fast one on you and probably trying to kind of scam you to upsell you. Trust your gut, trust your instincts. And just because someone's an expert doesn't mean that they own your choices or your money or your property. Doesn't mean that they get to control that. You do. Don't be afraid to be skeptical and to question someone when it comes to what's best for you. That is it for this video. I know it was kind of more rambly and not really so much about budgeting. Sorry, it's been a crazy month, but I will be back with videos about food budgets, and I would really actually like to talk more about my car situation and traveling and those sorts of expenses. If anyone would be interested in that, comment below and let me know. Or if there are any other topics you'd like me to address specifically related to budget or loans, that would be awesome. So let me know, like this video, share it with your friends, especially if they're trying to get out of debt. Let's create a community of helping each other to confidently get through this. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!